Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone tuning in on this video. Thank you so much. You are appreciated. It would mean the world to me if you even click like and subscribe before you even know what this video is about. That would be awesome. However, of course, we're going to dive in, check out some staking information, and today we're looking at the turtles. Give me 1 second while I get all these situated real fast, get the thumbnail updated. You know how it goes. So I appreciate everyone again tuning in. Oak Heart's in the building. Appreciate you tuning in as always. First in the chat, first on the video. Thank you. Let me see here, get this updated and thumbnail. Hex turtle. Bam. Save. All right. Well, again, as always, we're looking into what these hex stakers are up to. Are people committing to their stakes like they say they would? Are they maintaining their word? Or are they just a bunch of BS? I hope everyone's doing good. It is it's Wednesday. Happy hump day to everyone. So let's get this going here. Let me pull it up so I can share my screen across the board with everyone as well. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like this little main screen setup. Let me know if y'all like the main screen setup or if you're more of a fan. Yeah, Oak Heart's tuning in right there. If you're more of a fan of this gold screen. So I'm going to show both real fast. We also have our normal main screen setup as well, which will kind of allow just a little bit bigger screen. So give me a little shout out on that. Let me know for everyone who is tuning in, checking out this video later. Let me know how that looks too. Make sure my sound's good. And we got the mic a little closer as everyone can see, so I can now move it, I can adjust it. We can get this going for everyone to hopefully hear things a little bit nicer. I know you like the gold. Love it, Oak Hearts. Well, you're in the chat and you're the one that matters. So let's pull that up here. All right. We got Oak Heart saying gold right there. So we going gold, folks. We are going gold. I enjoy it as well. It is very nice having that little background here. Gold is nice. We got Agenda 69 in the house. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for everyone who is checking this video out. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers. We have actually almost hit 400 subscribers, which, guys, that is incredible. So do me a favor, if this is something you're enjoying, do me a favor, click that subscribe button and it'll help yourself out as well. Let's see where we're at, actually, as a matter of fact, because I'm curious. Where do I stand on subscribers at this moment in time? 395, guys. We are so close to 400. Maybe we can get to 400 by the middle of this video or end of this video. So to everyone who is tuning in, who is not subscribed, help me out. Click subscribe. It means a lot. It means the world. And it is greatly appreciated. Seriously. So, guys, let's tune in. Let's see what's going on around the Hex news as well. We got folks tuning in as, starting to stream and starting to hop on in here. But let me get back to where I can adjust my screen. And we're going to share. And we're going to share this tab. Perfect. All right. Add this to dynamic. And make it so that way you can see it a little bit easier for everyone tuning in. Thank you again. Today we're going to be checking out some staking information for the turtles. We've looked into the whales, we've looked into the sharks, we've even dove into the crabs. So today we're going to be checking out what the turtles are up to staking. So it's always easier. I think this is going to be more of the realm where a lot of folks kind of sit. I know there's several folks in the turtle, crab, shrimp range. That's probably going to be the majority of the hex stakers, and then we end up moving into those higher ones like the dolphins, the squids, the whales, the sharks, and those would be nice for everyone to be able to get up there, and that's one of the goals we always want to get up to one day, right? And we got Agenda 69 saying gold is nice, And we talking gold. All sounds good. Love it, O-Cards. Thank you so much. Always good to know that the mic is working, that the sound's working, and everything's functioning as it is intended. Because you know how technology can go. 1 second it's all good, and the next second you got all sorts of issues and everything's got to get fixed. So to make sure that everything sounds good and works good and is good, thank you. So let's pull this up. We got the daily information for HEX, folks. Now this is going to be a website that I commonly use to check out the daily stats of HEX. And the reason why is because it does an easy breakdown of where everything sits. So currently the HEX price is sitting at around 2.9 cents. To get 1 T-share, it's going to be increasing to 25,271. To understand what a T-share is, definitely type that into HEX. I know I've explained this previously, and I may just do a whole video of how it works, but the way a T-share works, and I'll repeat myself for those of y'all who are tuning in, thank you. HEX is paid out yield, and the way it pays out that yield is based on how many shares that you have. The way you get shares is when you buy HEX, you stake it, and when you stake it, it burns it, and you're given shares in return. Based on how much HEX is burnt depends on how many shares you get. Now, right now, the daily payout is looking about 6.34 HEX per T-share that you have. So for every 25,271 HEX currently, you get 1 T-share. And based on that 1 T-share, you get 6.34 HEX. Hopefully that has a basic example of it. When you end your stake, those shares are burned and you no longer will have them, but in return, you're gonna mint HEX. And that's how that comes to fruition. Currently, there are some penalties going on from people emergency in staking around 1.8 million HEX at this point in time. We do have liquidity for HEX, USDC, and Ethereum. But really, we wanna look at, what are the prices doing? Does it make sense to transfer? You always want to be knowledgeable, because when it comes to these fees, folks, whether it be staking, whether it be ending a stake, starting a stake, you want to be mindful of what the gas fees look like. So typically, if you see this number, we're looking at 18 gwei at the moment. If you see this number though, I do recommend you can usually wait until the weekend, get a little bit better deal. We're talking about 9 gwei, anywhere between 9 to 12, something like that. You can usually get it around 10 on the weekend, and that's what I would recommend. Wait until the weekend to either perform your starting stake or to perform your end stake. So that's a basic example. If you want to do a little swap using Uniswap, it's going to cost you about $5 right now based on the gas fees. To do a transfer to someone else, it's going to be about $2. So that's how that all works there. So if you are learning to swap into HEX, definitely make sure you are knowledgeable when it comes to that. Guys, we are on day 1108 of HEX working flawlessly. So this is close of yesterday of 1107, day 1107. You can see currently that's still a 502x from the all-time low, and the daily payout yesterday was 6.39 HEX per T-share. Remember, this is that payout per T-share we just discussed. Currently, the average is above 6.3 over the last 6 months, and we're looking for that number to increase by March, May, somewhere around June next year, around 7 HEX per T-share. So get on board and get in early, right? Because this number right here, the T-share rate is only going up. It's a number that can literally only go up. It has no ability to ever go down. It's always going to cost more HEX the next day to get 1 T-share. So if you're trying to get in, definitely recommend doing something very soon and doing something that you can actually take advantage of as soon as you possibly can. Now, folks, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is a speculative play. There are risks involved with every asset. However, I do feel that HEX is by far one of the safest crypto assets you can be in, especially for those folks who are trying to earn trustless yield in the proper DeFi way. HEX does exactly that, and it's been working flawlessly for over 3 years, paying out everything and working as exactly as the contract has stated. There are no admin keys. It is immutable. It can never be changed. So folks, this is definitely a situation that you should definitely start doing some more research into. and looking into Hex, if you're new to the crypto game and crypto community, always good to be knowledgeable of how it all works. And with Hex, there's a little bit more than just buying a crypto and holding it. Okay, there are steps you can do, and by doing those steps, you get a lot of benefits, such as personal benefits in terms of your mental health, your mental stress, your physical health. If you actually have the ability to start worrying about less stuff, it's going to be great for your overall body. So that's just a basic example of how it all works. Let me see where we're at now in terms of the price. We are looking, yep, this is a chart here, and it looks like, guys, we have broken out of my little wedge pattern here. Let me move this to where I can see it a little bit easier. So we were kind of playing this little wedge pattern that I was holding ever since we hit roughly about 5 cents. What was that, back in October? And we've been holding this little wedge pattern here for quite some time, kind of on the downward trajectory. But look at this, folks. We are breaking into this little zone right now. Okay, so we've now broken out of the wedge pattern. We've actually broken it on the upside, which means next goal is crushing the 3 cent line. Once we hold that and break it over the 3 cent line, we're going to flip it to support, and then it's onwards and upwards from there, folks. So get ready. If you have some limit orders placed, now is a good time to maintain those limit orders. You may still get filled down here for some odd reason. If it gets hit back down and it comes back and retests this as a support line, that's a very, very good possibility. So again, with crypto, it is volatile. You never know exactly how it's going to go. Based on the 9 EMA and the 15 EMA, we haven't crossed that just yet, so I don't have the bullish convergence happening. But look at this, using the Aurochs indicator, we have flipped that over to a green. Now again, this is just a Aurochs indicator showing when to buy, when to sell. I'm not trying to trade, so I'm not trying to move these patterns. You can see when it has the indicator though, it typically does have some good momentum happening. So again, that's just a little idea for those folks who are wanting to see the overall indicator. I do recommend that you look at the monthly indicator, as it will give you a much better perspective. And folks, on the monthly, we just flipped it over to green back in November. On Bitcoin and Ethereum, they just flipped that into green as well. And you can see here, BTC, USDC. So pulling up this. Okay, it doesn't show it on this particular one because it's Binance. God. I'm sure y'all heard about what's happening with Binance, but Binance is doing all sorts of stupid stuff, halting withdrawals and all that good stuff. So if you still have money on Binance and you still have these funds on centralized exchanges, again, do yourself a favor and get your money off the centralized exchanges ASAP. We have learned time and time again with the FTX collapse, Celsius collapse, Voyager collapse, BlockFi collapse, that holding your money on a centralized exchange is not going to be beneficial or advantageous to you. No matter how much you truly trust them, they have shown time and time again that people cannot be trusted. Trust no one. What you can trust is code. What you can trust is decentralized finance. That is the true purpose of DeFi. When you're messing with these centralized exchanges, you're bringing up CeFi, okay? You're bringing up centralized finance. It's controlled by a person or an organization. They have the ability to pause withdrawals, stop withdrawals, control your account, shut off your account, file for bankruptcy, and you lose all your money. They're spending your money right now on some of these exchanges. Again, that's your money, but unfortunately, because you held it on there and you agreed to their terms of service, it's not your money, unfortunately. You don't hold those crypto. You do not own the keys. You do not own the crypto. So learn right now what you need to do and what steps you need to have to get your keys off to get your crypto off these centralized exchanges and move it into a decentralized wallet or a self-custodial wallet. You can use items such as metamask.io. You can use items such as the Ledger or Treasure, which is a hardware wallet. There are many indicators out there. Aurochs wallet is the new one as well. Again, the wallets that are out there are available. Do not hold your funds on centralized exchanges. The only purpose of it is to fiat on ramp and fiat off ramp. Move your money from your your physical world, if you will, from this world, the fiat world that we live in, where everything's paid with cash, move that into the centralized finance, convert it to crypto, and move that crypto off into a decentralized wallet that you have access to, that you're the only one who can access based on those seed words. And take the cautions to know that, again, there is no customer service in true DeFi, okay? So take accountability for your own actions and everything happening. Let's see what ETH is looking at. Whoops, USDC. Cool. So we got Ethereum right here. Again, this is the daily. I'm gonna pull it up on the monthly. They do have a they do have Ethereum sitting right now around $1,079. We do have that green Aurochs indicator showing, guys, this could be a good time. The bottom of the bear market's happening. It's coming soon, and if you're not ready, you're gonna get left behind. You know, those times when you hear everyone say, man, I wish I could have, I wish I you know, had bought more. I wish I could buy back in these prices. Now is the time where these prices are a real thing that you can truly take advantage of. We're seeing these cryptos at an all-time low, 95% off. You know, HEX from the all-time high, if I go from the all-time high right here and I measure down to where it is the all-time low. Come on. 95% off right there, right? 96% almost. So just to be able to have that kind of dip and opportunity is a massive chance. Don't look at this as a failed crypto. Don't look at it as you lost your money. If you had bought it at the top, then so be it, right? We're in a bear market. This is what a bear market feels like, folks. This is what learning how crypto works. You can't have the highest appreciating asset and not also have the other side of it with volatility. And folks, this is happening for every crypto. So be mindful if you're looking to start learning how it all works. This is definitely a great time to start learning. If I measure from fib line, oh, did it just automatically set those? I want it to go the other way. One sec. Oh, that's why it's not fib. Here we go. And we're gonna pull this up. So if I just pull this up here, and I'm just gonna go back to where it was the previous all-time high around 5 cents. I'm not gonna get too crazy. Just want to sit around 5 cents, and I want to zoom in on this. So when I look at these numbers right here, this is kind of a good level you can kind of start expecting. So from the bottom, we started hitting this 0.618 level. Again, this is just going back up to the 5 cent range. So from here, we're still on the lower end of the spectrum, and we still have plenty of room to grow. I am expecting that we do bounce up to the 3 cent level here in the very near future. And then from there, we just kind of may bounce around. Unfortunately, HEX is so heavily tied to the launch of Pulse Chain, the news of Pulse Chain, what's happening with Pulse Chain. And until we have more information coming along from the V3 testnet happening to the launch of Pulse Chain, we're gonna probably end up bouncing here in this region for a period of time, and that's just to almost be expected at this point, folks. So keep in mind that is definitely something that y'all should know about, to be mindful of what's actually going on in the grand scheme and the bigger picture of things. And let's pull this up here. All right, and that's kind of the quick items on that chart right there. What news do we have? A Wild SJ came out with a great explanation video or explanation article on Medium about how to set up Staker app. I am a huge fan of Staker app for those folks looking to stake their HEX. And even if you don't have your HEX and you don't want to stake it through them, and you have HEX stakes on MetaMask or another wallet that you have access to, you can monitor all of your transactions, all of your stakes, all here on this other platform. So I'm gonna link this in the chat right now to anyone who wants to check it out. I highly advise, definitely give it a good read. It does a great explanation example about how to set up the Staker app, how to buy HEX, and what to do overall. So you can look at, you know, Okay, yeah, I have it pulled up. I just want to make sure. So it does a great table of contents: how to download and purchase Staker app, how to make sure your seed words are good to go, right? Funding your Staker app, swapping USDC for HEX, stake HEX and chill, and other resources. So for anyone who's wanting to check it out, I highly advise checking this out. It is a great explanation. It explains what the Staker app is. It does use the Gnosis Safe security setup, which is by far probably one of the safest setups in terms of the crypto network. It's actually what Vitalik Buterin uses as well, with many other people in the crypto sphere using the Gnosis Safe protocol. And with the Staker app, you actually get it at a 90% discount because it does cost $10 to set up. Just FYI, if you want to use it for the wallet purposes, if you just want to use it to monitor your HEX stakes or enter another address just so you can monitor their HEX stakes, you can definitely use it for those purposes. You just enter the Ethereum address and it'll pull up any stakes that they have, and you can keep track of when they're ending, what's happening with them. You can sign in with Apple or Google. This again just does a great explanation with pictures explaining how to get it all set up. So definitely a good read to anyone who wants to check it out. And again, I highly do advise people take the time to end up checking that out as well. Let's see what's going on in the crypto world. Bitcoin back above 18,000 for the first time since FTX collapse. Yeah. You know, Bitcoin still probably has a little bit more to go, especially Randy Hilarski actually, and guys, the interview I had with Randy Hilarski on Monday was absolutely incredible. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go to my YouTube channel, and go to Crypto Veteran, and it'll pull up Randy Hilarski, or just type in ATX Crypto Randy Hilarski. It'll pull up the video right away. He does a great job explaining items that we had previously experienced. He's gone through the bear market now 3 times, or this is his 3rd bear market. He has so much knowledge to share with all of us and with everyone. And I absolutely had a phenomenal time checking it out and watching and having him on the stream. So in that, he just did another video the other day where someone actually mentioned that there is over 26 million Bitcoin in all these centralized exchanges. Let me see if I can find that article. 26 million Bitcoin on exchanges. Let me see if I can find it, because it is hilarious, right? Like, there's only ever going to be 21 million in existence at the end. And you're talking about, it was someone who ended up doing like all this research into all the different exchanges and pulled up how much they had and how much they held. Unfortunately, I can't find the article, but that man, I was laughing whenever I heard that, because that just basically proves you got a lot of people selling some paper Bitcoin that ain't real. And that just further proves that, again, not your keys, not your crypto, and that crypto is truly not even existent. Across, maybe if I 26 million Bitcoin across platforms. I'm trying to see if I can find it. 26 most traded, nope. Nope. Bitcoin, nope. Is it here? Nope. In summary, the IE standards. Yeah, I can't find it right now. Unfortunately, I didn't save the article, or I didn't write down where he said he had heard it from. But yeah, I thought it was a hilarious number. You're talking 26 million. Again, there's only ever going to be 21 million in existence, and there's only 19 at this point in time, or something crazy. So the fact that they have all these, numbers hit is just absolutely terrible. How many Bitcoins are there? Everyone, yeah, all these articles are just saying 21 million is all that's gonna ever happen. Yeah, so I may find that article and pull it up a little later and just laugh at it together. But today I did want to check out what the turtles are doing on their HEX stakes. So again, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Yeah, they got like 26 million BTC for sale. Yeah. Yeah, that's again. Hexodl was in that stream with Randy when he was pulling it up and they were talking about it. And I was just, you hear this stuff and you have to laugh, right? You got to laugh because again, like if you don't truly hold the Bitcoin in a wallet that you have access to and only you have access to, then you do not own that crypto, and it's essentially like paper Bitcoin. They're literally just handing you a little slip saying you do have Bitcoin, and then that paper is non-existent, or it can go up in flames, or it's not redeemable because it's not real and you can't do anything with it. So I was absolutely laughing on it. Anyone has 1 trillion hex for sale? Right? Like for real though, like that's absolutely wild. Yeah, gold is the same as well. Yeah, gold just happened the other day where it was like over billions of dollars were happening out of this one place, but it was all just like paper gold and it didn't exist. And it was just like you have this little slip that basically says, hey, I'm giving you gold. And again, the slip is not real and you can't do anything with it. So if you try to take it somewhere, they're like, that's not gold, that's a fucking piece of paper. So absolutely hilarious. Gold price is the same as it was 10 years ago and dumped in between. Yep. Gold's been that way, and everyone will say, in terms of holding its value, some people claim that to hold its value, but I'm in this for monetary gains, right? Where the technology is great and good to have, and the security is great and good to have. I got into this game to be able to live a lifestyle that I wanted different for my children to have. I wanted to have retirement at a younger age. I want generational wealth. So for me, having something that doesn't change value in over 10 years time isn't something that I'm trying to play with at this moment. Now there is speculation that gold could be going up soon, but again, that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day that I don't really care about, because a 2x doesn't motivate me as it once did when I was playing with stocks and changing everything there and doubling my money and having fun doing that. A 2x doesn't do it for me anymore, because that 2x is very short-lived. Most of the time you have to sell and take profits or trade, and when you end up doing that, you end up buying back when it's higher and you end up selling when it's lower, and you start doing stupid things, because then you start chase betting and you start, man, your mind just gets effed. So I'm not in it for a 2x, right? Otherwise I'd probably just say go Bitcoin, right? Because in all reality, if Bitcoin just goes back up to its previous all-time high of 60K, I mean, that's what, 3x on your money? Cool. Now, will it go up to 100K? I don't know, but that's what, a 4x of your money? I'm not in it for the 4x, right? I'm in it for the 100,000, 10,000, 100,000x, right? That's what I'm in this game for. Generational wealth. I don't want to have to worry about selling it whenever it goes up 5x just because it's going to go back down. That stress will annoy and bother and, get you going crazy, right? We got a Bitcoin pumping, FOMC meeting rates announced in 20 minutes. Yep. Yeah, so they're doing that in 20 minutes. Gold technically dumped because more money was printed since, yeah. And people are holding on to the dollar. And, if you're holding on to your dollars in your own money, you're losing money in that regard right away. Because every single time the Fed just decides to open up the money printer and go and just start printing out money, well, guess what? They're gonna be SOL. Hey, Hexodl, how does the how does the sound sound now that I have the mic a little bit closer to my face, and I moved the setup around. I tried adjusting everything. I wanted to make sure. I know you were pointing out that the other day that I sounded a little bit low. Hey, exactly. Yeah. So if Bitcoin does a 5-10x, then altcoins do more x's. Yeah. So if you're looking at Bitcoin, then I would say go Ethereum, right? If you're looking for like the safe bet, go Ethereum. But again, when you're in Ethereum, you can't do anything additional with it besides hold it. And I think holding, while it's great, it's not gonna give you the peace of mind that I think you're looking for. Because folks, when things start doing X's, whether it's 5x, 10x, 20x, 50x, you have to make a decision at some point in time to continue to hold. And folks, we have people like the God Whale, for example, who was in on the Ethereum launch and who has the Genesis Ethereum. That is the very first Ethereum that was ever made. He didn't start doing anything with it until it was like 7 years old. At that point in time, it's already done thousands of X's. And you have to understand that that takes a certain person to be able to manage that. Because if you have something that you entered and it was 10,000, 20,000, and it turns into 500 million, a billion, like you're telling me you're going to be able to hold on the whole time? I doubt it. You're going to do something stupid and wreck yourself and lose what you had. And so that's where I find Hex to come, and that is the true benefit of Hex. That is where, by staking, not only do you have delay gratification, and you have the ability where it actually truly does commit you to lock up your Hex for a period of time that you choose, but also you earn more Hex while it's staked. Like every day that sucker is printing out more Hex for me. Every day it's printing out more Hex for the staking class. That is where the inflation goes. It's only 3.69 inflation for the entire Hex contract. And we're not even getting up to the full inflation amount because there's stakes that are ending all the way out to 15 years. So folks, it is good to know how it works. I highly advise recommending it out. I highly advise recommending checking it out. And that's actually what we're looking at into today. Hey, Hexactly says, hello, everybody. Hex is rising. Absolutely, yeah. And, you know, I was looking at this chart with everyone just a moment ago as well, and I'll pull it back up. But this is a little chart here, and we have now broken out of the wedge pattern that we've been sitting in that I had drawn out for, you know, the last, what? I've been doing live streams now for like 2-3 weeks now every day. And so, right, I drew this little chart out basically showing like, guys, this is a pattern that we're sitting in, and we bounced here in this little wedge pattern for a little while. I said we're going to break out one way or another. If it breaks out to the upside, then, you know, it's looking to rally all the way up to new prices. If it ends up going on the lower side, then we're probably going to end up looking at lower prices. And that's just basic TA. I'm no TA god or expert, but when I see it above the line that I have, and this is the daily open right here, guys, and I know it's very difficult to see. Maybe I can zoom in. Hey, of course my freaking mouse is blocking it. So let me pull that up here. There we go. So this is a daily, right in the middle of the circle is the daily open for Hex, right? And that's everything that's already happened today so far. So we have seen it go up, and we have seen it maintain above the previous day's close. And that is all bullish momentum happening right there. Right now, I'm really just waiting for the 9 EMA to cross over the 15 EMA, and that's just that like let's freaking go moment, right? That's whenever you gotta be looking. We got Hex Hodl saying hey to Hexactly, so appreciate everyone tuning in. Hexactly says, got a new stake today. I'm addicted. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times what happens is when you end your stake, you know, especially at the prices that we're at now, you're like, I don't need to collect the money right now. Like, you know, especially if you had staked when it was a higher price, for example, back when it was 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, whatever, you've earned more Hex during that time. But because the price is low, you're like, you know, I had $1,000 and it's now sitting at $100, right? Because it's a 90% drop, we'll say. Right? I don't need the $100 right now. I'm just going to restake this sucker out. And then you restake it out for like another year. Or if you already have another stake coming out by the next year, then you can really kick this sucker out to 15 years, right? And that's where the staking ladder strategy comes into play. And that's why I look into what these folks are doing for the Staker League. That's why I am fascinated by data, right? Like I'm truly fascinated by data. And the fact that hexfire.io brings me this data in such a concise way that allows me to do whatever I want with, really, right? Like I can look into every wallet if I wanted to. I don't have time because that's what, 400,000, there's 116,000 wallets. Like I don't have time for it to go through every single one. Maybe that's like a 48-hour stream one day. We just click on each one and just like die. I don't know. When Pulse Chain launches. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to be talking about Pulse. That's a joke. When Pulse Chain launches, folks, we are freaking moving. And yeah, congratulations on going and getting longer. Usually what happens is you get your first T-share and you start seeing that daily payout and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I only did it for a year this time. Like I want to go 2 years now or 5 years now, or I want to go 10 years. Right. And that's where coming up with a strategy can really become beneficial. Having a staking strategy, I think, is very necessary because you can do a ladder, but you have to have a purpose behind the ladder, folks. You don't just want to do it once a year just to have it end once a year. Put those dates around certain time frames of your life. If you're planning on getting a new vehicle next year, if you know, or if you're planning on getting a new vehicle in 4 years, you know, maybe stake something out 3.5 years from now. If you're planning on doing a vacation because you haven't treated yourself nicely, like delay the gratification of trying to go somewhere now and taking a cheap vacation, for example, delay that gratification for either another year or two, and then go on that nice vacation that you've always dreamt of, right? That's where this comes into play. If you want to get married or if you have kids, I think kids are the perfect prime reason for something to happen, because there's birthdays of kids, there's the graduations of kids, there's cars, there's college, there's so many things that you can plan for and have a reason for, because when you stake, folks, you are locked, right? You are locked in that stake. There's no getting out of it early. If you decide to get out early and you're not even close to ending your stake, or your stake's not close to becoming due, you are going to wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, folks. So yeah, exactly saying, got a new stake. I think the bear market, I think the market will be ready. I think the market will be really high in 2025 after BTC halvening in 2024. Yeah, so the halvening is happening in March of 2024, I believe, March or May, right? It comes in like these little 4-year cycles, and the bull does come right around that same time as well, typically. So I think personally, we're going to have Pulse Chain launch the crypto space into the bull market, and that's going to be the way it actually goes down, personally, because you have to understand there's going to be so many new people who have just been waiting to get into the next proper project. Everyone's scared right now. No one's coming out with new products, and if they are, they're really just coming out with like anonymous, and they aren't, you don't know who the founders are. And that's not, again, like there's things you invest in DeFi, and when you don't know the founder, when you don't know the if they have admin keys, like if you know you're just getting into it because it's new, you haven't even read the white paper, like that's bad news bears, folks. Bad news bears. And a lot of people have learned over 2020 and 2021 that it was cool while the bull market was here and you could make some quick money, but now everyone is out of those, and you know, you either lost money or people rugged or whatever. And that's where the HEX staking comes into play, and that's why we look at that's why we look at the HEX staker data, right? And so, folks, this is a perfect example. There are leagues in HEX. When you have a certain amount of T-shares, you start becoming a certain rank, if you will, or a league. And so the way it works is the minimum T-shares required to become a turtle is going to be 10 T-shares all the way up to 100 T-shares, okay? So anyone in between that range is doing pretty darn good, I'd say, because what happened in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, in 2021, they called it the year of the squid, because everyone who was previously here, the dolphins have made millions, the sharks have made millions, the whales have made millions, right? And the squids were making millions during the bull market, so they called it the year of the squid in HEX terms. The turtles were going to be next up in this rally, and so while the bear market's here, the turtles are going to be the next class that's going to reach the millionaire status club. And that is a phenomenal status, folks. And then next, crabs, right? And so you always want to try to move and work your way up. You want to always try to move and work your way up into a higher league, okay? So if you currently have 9 T-shares and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so close to becoming a turtle. It's this game mechanic behind it. And, you know, by getting one more T-share, you bump yourself into the turtle. And you're like, I just moved up a rank, right? You're ranking up. And I think coming with the StakeRap V2, for those of y'all who haven't seen, StakeRap is coming out with a new version as well. It's going to be launched by the end of the year, so I will definitely be doing a review on it because I am freaking pumped. I love Staker app. They do a phenomenal job. So this is what they said. Staker app coming on Twitter. Testers will start playing with Staker app V2. Full release around end of year. And so look at this photo right here. So this is what we're talking about. League up and level up, right? And so you can level your position because where you rank, they have where you fall within the amount of people that are in that category. And then you can league up by extending your further stakes. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely probably agree that the halvening is going to be a market high time for the overall crypto sphere. And, you know, Hex Hodl says it perfectly. Accumulate over time either way. 1000% agree. This is just another mechanic behind it for those of y'all who like the accolade, who want the next, you know, achievement unlocked or whatever, right? And so that's exactly how we're going to do it. Hex Hodl says it best. You know, new Staker V2 looks nice. Don't forget to claim your safe tokens from Gnosis if you've used Staker. There is a phenomenal article also that if you go to Staker app on Twitter, they actually open it up. If you just click this item in the article, they answer questions. So they say it's going to be a multi-token, multi-chain wallet. They ask if you can claim your safe token. And, you know, Steph actually writes a article about how to claim your safe token. I will throw that here in the YouTube chat. Oakheart says it best right here, folks. Do not forget to press the like. I forgot. Just done it now. Hey, Oakhearts, thank you so much for getting that like press. That's greatly appreciated. We got 8 streamers. We got 8 viewers, and we got 7 likes, folks. We got 1 person viewing right now who's not liked. I don't know who you are, but I will find you, and I will make you like it. I kid. All right. Yeah, so I put the article there about how to claim your safe token. For those folks who are using the Staker app protocol, it is something that, you know, while it's good to know, David Federer also did a video about how to claim it. And then you can delegate and all this good stuff. So definitely check these videos out. Highly advised. Whoops. I thought I was sharing this tab, but now I am. So this is the safe claim token site that we were just mentioning. It explains how to claim the safe. It explains, you know, what to do, how to access, what happens when you claim your safe, the idea behind it. It's for anyone using the Gnosis safe protocol. And so then you can delegate your safe to the Staker app team. And, you know, again, Steph and the team have done phenomenal things. David Federer also did a video. Or David Federer, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name correctly. If I'm not, apologize. But this actually shows how to also connect and do it as well. So definitely take some time if you're using the Gnosis. If you're using the Staker app already, you might as well, because it's just going to be an additional free airdrop that you get to claim because of you staking on the Staker app, right? Like, you know, why not? Hey, we got Caltex in the morning, or got Caltex in the stream right now, and they say, let me pull it up on stream. Good evening, fam. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to everyone as well. We got folks tuning in everywhere, all around the world. So just having that love in our Hex community, having the outreach in our Hex community is just phenomenal stuff, right? So again, looking at the Staker leagues. There's a whale, there's a shark, there's a dolphin, there's a squid, turtle, crab, shrimp, and shell. And so, you know, what I do whenever I look into these folks, I look into 3 things. I look into, are they staked or are they holding liquid? That's the first thing. I pretty much know they're staked because, 1, they're in the Staker league setup, right? So in this scenario, we know they're staked. But what do their stakes look like? We look at their ROI in terms of, you know, like, do they have good investment returns already? Have they been doing it a while? And then we just dive into kind of like what kind of degen stuff they may be doing. If they're selling it for other crypto, if they're staking it out longer, what their ladders look like. And we just try to gain as much information as we can when we look into this. So today we're actually checking out the turtles in particular. So right here you can see we have 116,000 Staker wallets that show. And this number is constantly increasing. I think when I started, and I got into Hex, there were around like 40,000. Yeah, we had like 40,000 people staking, and now we're up to 116,000 people staking. That is freaking awesome. Celtics in the morning. I'll keep it right. Oh my goodness. Morning, 11 a.m. here, West Coast. Good to see you. Good to see you as well. Everyone in the chat. Hex Huddle's giving a shout out. FOMC in 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm not really going to pull up the FOMC. What's funny is I actually do check out me, Kevin, in terms of his breakdowns of what he says. While I can't agree with everything that he says, it's good to get information from several sources. And so, yeah, definitely. I'm happy to step on GRC shoes. Love it. So, again, right now you can see in terms of 116,000 stakers, majority of folks are falling between shrimp, crab, and turtle. I would say, or heck, even shell, right? I haven't actually looked at shells. Maybe that's something we'll do. I'm just curious, like what they do, you know? Like, did they just learn about Hex and they're just trying to test it? Because that means they have less than 0.1 T share. And, you know, I think that's an easy advancement into the next rank for shrimp. You know, you just have to go with like $100 and stake it out 5 years, and that puts you into the shrimp or something. So I'm kind of curious as to what these shells are doing. But today we're checking out the turtles. We're seeing what these turtles are doing, seeing what's happening. And let me pull it up to where I can actually see them listed. And again, the website that I'm using to check this out is hexfire.io, made by Crispy Man. Good stuff here. I'm such a fan of being able to pull up this information because I'm a data nerd, right? I like looking at data, and that's what made Hex so compelling for me. You could literally see more data with Hex than any other crypto project out there, and this is all built by the community. This is a community-driven item built where people have all this information because it's all available on the blockchain, but they make it so user-friendly for people to really start diving into what they're doing. So starting out with the top turtle, right? These are going to be people sitting right at the realm between turtle and squid. So let's see what this top turtle's doing, okay? They are holding some liquid Hex, and we can see that right from the jump when I open up their address. They're sitting at 150,000 Hex liquid. They also have some USDT. They have some other items that they've messed with previously. And so they're sitting about 4,000 liquid at this point in time. What we do is we check out the ERC20 transactions, and what we can see is overall kind of what they're getting into. So what's happening when I look at this is they have this address, which is their address, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 541F, and that's the last 4 of it. This is them sending it to this is them sending 2 million. No way. Well, they're definitely moving up into the ranks. They have 2 million Hex that they just sent to get staked 20 days ago. And they just minted 20 million or 2 million Hex. So what they did here is they basically had their stakes. They converted it. They ended a stake and they minted 2.5 million stake into Hex into existence. They then took that Hex and restaked it. So they didn't actually take any profits on this one at this point in time. It looks like they have another wallet they also have access to, because that wallet transferred more Hex into this account. So this could be a good setup. I wonder what their staking looks like. Okay, so let's pull up their contract address and let's take a gander about what their stakes are doing. Again, to everyone tuning in on the stream, love it. Hex Turtles, where's my man? I don't know, my man. Who are you talking about, Celtics? I'd love to, you know, dive in. If you have the last 4 of their wallet address, I bet you we can start looking at it. Lol. Man, this person's a turtle only because they won't freaking stake long. Wild. They literally have 1 stake, and they're rolling that stake for 30 days. And so this was the one they just recently created, it seems. So they had 2.5 million. Hex Turtle. Always good, Celtics. Don't even say sorry. You don't even got to apologize about nothing, my man. We got 2.5 million staked for Hex. Their yield so far, and this just got staked, it looks like, but their APY is around 9%. I did a video as to what standard APYs and ROIs might look like. Going with the 30-day stake, I really just don't see the profit and benefit, because typically you end up losing more Hex doing this strategy faster, because it takes more Hex to stake out. And so if you are trying to use it to accumulate some profit, you typically can't take that profit out, because you have to restake the whole amount that you staked to get back the amount of T shares and start earning it. So while they have staked, they have made money. It looks like they've made roughly about $4,300, $4,200 at this point in time during their stake length. You know, I personally just don't see it. They've started 28 stakes and they've ended 27. So they are definitely doing a rolling strategy on this one, and they just continue to do a rolling strategy. You can see they've ended some stakes early and they've lost 2.4 million Hex already. And during that time, they were able to capitalize and have a payout of 72,000, or that's the amount of total Hex lost at the current price. So, man, that's tough. That's tough. I'm not used to seeing someone pull something like this in the Turtle League, actually, which is why we check this out, right? Because this is interesting to me. Like, I get they can make some money, but unless you're dealing with multi-millions of Hex, I typically don't advise doing this 30-day rolling strategy, because you have to pay gas fees on top of it, which gas fees are relatively low right now. And so, you know, don't get me wrong, it's not the end of the world on it, but when we did see gas fees at really high prices back in 2021, when it was the NFT craze and OpenSea was blowing every freaking gas price out the wazoo. I mean, it cost $50, $60 just to start a stake. It was costing $30, $40 just to swap from Hex to USDC. And so when you start eating into all those profits, and then to end the stake, it costs more, right? And so, like, when you start eating into all those profits, you take something that could have been 4,000 and turn it into 3,500 by the end of it. And it's like, you know, spread it out if you're going to do it. That I don't know. I think there's better ways to do it, personally, because this person, I don't think they've technically made it in my mind. Let me see the wallet that they sent from, because this is, you know, usually if I see something like this and they have a 30-day rolling strategy or 30-day rolling stake, it's because they usually have another wallet that they actually have more stakes in personally. And so they're just using this one as like almost like a fun little rolling account status setup. So let's see if I can find it here. Are you going to search? Or are you not going to search? Liquid Hex, got it. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let me go back and find it. Sorry, I got distracted, folks. Oh, too funny. Okay, so this wallet, they sent the Hex to their wallet. So let's see what this wallet does, right? They are not holding any Hex liquid on this one. They do have a couple of shit coins that we can see. Oh, goodness. Freeing? Like, oh my God. Like, they're just buying some of this shit just to see if it happens. Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Does this wallet have any stakes? I don't even want to look at those shit coins, because those are terrible coins. Just you see the name of them and they just look terrible in my opinion. So let's see if this wallet has any stakes at this moment in time. We're going to share this tab and we're going to pull this up. Nope, they do not have any stakes. So crazy. Yeah, this particular wallet that we just looked at originally is sitting at, you know, where they just keep on rolling their stakes every 30 days. My guess is that they're waiting for the launch of Pulse Chain. But they've done it for 28 stakes. There's no way, because that's almost 2.5 years they've been. That's 2 years. Yeah, 2 years and 4 months. They've just been rolling 30-day stakes. Wild. And you can see it's just not going to be as beneficial. Yeah, and that's what we expected. I didn't, Hex Huddle, I appreciate you letting us know. 50 basis point raise as expected. Yeah, dude, they're going to do 50 basis point now. They're probably going to do 50 basis point in February. And then we're probably going to look down at that point in time to the March area, right? Because in February, they're only going to have one other CPI report to look at, and it's the January one. And, the February one won't come out until the end after their meeting. So I think they're going to do another 50 come February, and then I think they may start lowering down come March, because then they'll have two CPI reports, and as long as everything's trending down, then we're looking toward the downside. But at this moment, yeah, dude, that, unfortunately, the way it works on it, it just doesn't look like it's going to be advantageous. You kind of saw the 50 basis point coming for sure. There's no reason why they would try to go lower right now. I think Jerome Powell's made it pretty clear that he has said that we can always lower after it's already raised, right? And so he'd rather continue to raise on the side of caution and then lower if needed. But we're just gonna see that how it plays out. Let's see if we can look at a normal turtle, because that turtle, I don't while they're a turtle, don't get me wrong, they're a turtle. They are doing very turtle things. they aren't seeing a longer term vision. They've continued to do the rolling 30-day stake. So be it, I guess, right? And so this dude right here, the next wallet that we're looking at is 096B, okay? This is right here. They are holding some liquid, right? They have some Pulse Doge coin. It looks like that Pulse Doge coin's committing to about $3,000. They have another one from Band, and really they aren't holding any liquid Hex. The fact that they have Pulse Doge already means that they are at least somewhat knowledgeable when it comes to our Hex community. Because if you see Hedron, Pulse Doge, usually it means they're pretty familiar with what's going on around the Hexican ecosystem. But let's see. I had to pull my table up a little bit so I could help my wrist for whatever reason. I had it just a little bit low. My wrist was over here like cramped. I don't know why. Doing silly stuff. So, what do their stakes look like? What they doing, right? Looks like they aren't really doing anything in terms of most recent activity. They have Hex sent to another address, which is curious. We always wonder in this scenario where that Hex is going. So I'm going to pull up both the addresses, because when people start sending Hex to another address, I just get curious as to, like, maybe they have multiple wallets. I know I myself have multiple wallets. I know several people in the community have multiple wallets. I, in fact, encourage people to have multiple wallets. I don't think you want to have everything tied together all in one, because if something happens, like you do something stupid, connect to a DApp, and you lose access to your wallet or get hacked or lose access to the seed words and you can't access them later, you don't want all your eggs in one basket in that regard. You don't want it all in one wallet. I don't think I need to have one wallet showing millions of dollars. I could have that millions of dollars spread out over a couple wallets and, have hundreds of thousands in each one, or multi-hundreds of thousands. And it just makes more sense that way. So yeah, they have some Hex that they sent somewhere else. They claimed their Pulse Doge coin back, almost 230 days ago. So over a year, or over 7 months ago. They're messing around with a couple other protocols, but primarily really just messing with Hex. So they sent this one to the same one twice. So 7544 is the same address they sent this one to, 7544. So I'm curious as to what they got going on. Let's check it out. So the very first one we're going to check out is going to be this one that we just checked out, which is 096B. And I have the camera like perfectly on the TV right now. So if you see me kind of bouncing around, obviously I'm standing as well, so it's good to stretch my legs, but I'm actually trying to look around the camera. Lol. Yeah, I don't know if we are ever going to be able to separate from the Fed. I was actually talking with Randy about that, because there was a talk of vertical integration when Pulse Chain launches. And in my head, originally I thought vertical integration fully meant that we would almost isolate ourselves from the outside world or from the outside views or from everything else happening, because when you have vertical integration, that literally means you can buy on that platform, you can sell on the platform, you know, you can stake, you can swap, you can do everything. You have fiat on ramp, off ramp, you have your own wallet. So I thought, you know, in that regard, we wouldn't be susceptible as much to all the noise and chaos happening in the crypto space. After talking with Randy, though, I think it was a very good eye-opening moment that everything's becoming a cross-platform capability. So, you know, you have wallets that are literally allowing you to just cross-platform immediately without doing anything too crazy. And you just have to change a couple settings, or, you know, and just allows a nice little cross-platform. So even though we'll have vertical integration at some point, we'll still have all the outside factors and influences that'll always be there. So back to this wallet here. Again, we're going to check out what the stake speed looking like. So let's see here. This is 096B. They have 3 stakes open. Their average stake length is over 8 years, which is, hey, that's great to see. If you're above the average, which right now the average is 6.7 years in HEX, or years for the average stake length for all the 116,000 stakers, and they have roughly about 500,000 staked. They've already made some decent yield on their status or on their stake, because they've been probably staked for a little bit. We're going to take a look into how long. They're actually positive on all of their stakes as well. Their stakes only cost $4,000 initially when they first started staking, and their current value is sitting around 38,000. So this dude looks like one of the older folks in terms of the HEX. Let's see when they first opened up the stake here. Well, okay, so they opened them all on the same day. Why can't I get this little middle line? Come on. I just want to open it up and expand it. Okay, cool. I guess not. So they actually first staked in November 16th of 2020. So they've already been staked now for 2 years, folks. Again, they have an average of 8 years. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So let's see. Yeah, so they have an average of 8 years, which is incredible. So their first stake that they first set in 2020 was 4 years down the line. So that's 2024 was their very first stake that they have ending. Their next one is 2028, and the one after that's 2032. This is a phenomenal staking ladder setup in terms of the basic principle of a staking ladder. They did them all on the same day. They did them all for the same amount, 154,000 HEX, and they have it set 4 years apart. I think this is going to be huge, because you have to imagine, this was actually a thought that I had. Why don't people talk about staking around the cyclical bear market, since we already know that bear and bull come in 3-year, 1-year waves typically? So why wouldn't you plan for a year after the bear market to come and end a stake? And I think when you see this, it is a eye-opening moment that they may actually understand something that I didn't quite know, because I have stakes set up in a different way, but this person has it to where I think this is going to be bear market or bull market zone all day, because then you have the halvening happening in 2024, March or May, like we talked about, and usually after that it comes with a bull cycle, and they have the halvening and they have their stakes ending around the same time. This is incredible. Okay, so check this out. On their first one, 4 years old, they had 154,000 staked. They've earned 205,000 yield in HEX so far on the 4-year stake, and you can see what the difference is by going longer. On the 8-year stake, it was 296 as a yield, and on the 12-year stake, they have 341,000 HEX that they've earned. So overall, they've already doubled their HEX bag, and they haven't sold, whether it be during the bull rally that we had in 2020 and 2021, and they haven't sold in this bear market either. This turtle's winning. This turtle's swimming. They're going to be swimming in money, especially come that time. This is a phenomenal time frame to end your stakes. I absolutely love seeing this one right here, because this shows them how much it originally cost to stake when they first did it. They got in when the hex price was 0.008. So you have to imagine they saw it go all the way up. Oh no, I just saw the message. Oh no. I appreciate that, guys. Again, I don't know why I switched over to a different platform, and while I like the background, I like this because I can pull it up here for chat, and I was using OBS before, but when you use OBS, it just follows you without having to switch your tabs, and I like that so much more. Now I just have to remember to click share tab each time I click around. We have Oakheart saying 7 at night here in the UK. Well, Oakheart, thank you so much for tuning in while it's nighttime. We have Celtic saying 8 p.m. in Switzerland. Oh, this is incredible, guys. Definitely got folks all around. Celtics is saying there's a cognitive dissonance rolling out base point hikes because people are conflating decrease and unaccelerating. Yeah, 1000%. Time to dump. Hexodl says time to dump. Other data came in too high, like the terminal rate. Yeah, terminal velocity rate's definitely going high. Me, Kevin, definitely knows the stuff. Strange times we live in. Now false flag self-coup in South America. I haven't heard anything about that one, Celtics. I actually don't typically follow any media in that regard for the most part because, man, media is toxic, dude. Very toxic, unfortunately. And it's very easy to skew perspectives, and then you feel a certain way. And so unless you have all the story, it's tough to make the decision on, right? Because all we see is one side typically. Definitely let me know you couldn't see. I'm 11 years on average. Yeah, dude, exactly. Yeah, 11 years is a phenomenal time frame. I think I'm over 10 myself, right? Because I had this long-term view in my head. And so the way I set it up was a long-term view. Definitely let me know that it was only on Etherscan, and now you have the hex fire showing up. So guys, look at this. This person, this turtle. Man, I really wish I could zoom in on here. This turtle had the initial stakes all on the same day. They had 3 stakes, all done on November 16th of 2020. They have the first one ending in 4 years. They have the next one ending in 8 years. Then they have the next one ending in 12 years. So they are doing, I'm surprised we really didn't see a 15-year stake. That is almost kind of shocking in my mind. Because I guess they're doing 4-year, 4, 8, 12, and there is no 16. So I love seeing this because this is almost rallying around the bull market cycle, which I never thought of previously because this is my first bear market for crypto. So now that we're learning that, even Richard Hart said it before, it's cyclical, right? This time is not different, right? There's like anyone who says that is wrong. So someone who is knowledgeable enough to be aware, they almost set themselves up to be in huge profit because this is coming around a bull market cycle. So we have 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, which is also in conjunction with the Bitcoin halving, 2024, 2028, 2032. Hey, this is solid. This is solid freaking work from this turtle. So this is actually showing how much they had staked. It was 154,000 initially on every single stake. Okay. During that time, they've been able to change the 4-year in terms of the yield. They've earned 205,000 on during the first 2 years so far. They still have 2 more years to go. On the 8-year, you can see how longer pays better, folks. This is a perfect example of how longer pays better. They did these stakes on the exact same day. They did everything the exact same length or exact same amount. And so we have one for 4 years showing 200,000 hex already earned. The 8 years showing 296,000 hex already earned. And the 12 years showing 341,000 hex already earned. Guys, that is incredible. Yeah, 1000%. Definitely going to be a squid soon. Yeah, exactly. Nails it on that one. Definitely going to be a squid soon for sure. Right? Let's see if I can pull myself up. I like it better like this. You can see it better, but I can't really see myself when I'm like that. I wish I could expand this screen right here. You know what? There's always going to be flaws with every system that we use, no matter what. So I'll just accept it and just appreciate from what I'm able to do at this point in time. So already they have earned 843,000 hex in yield. So they had turned something that was 460,000 hex into just the current hex in yield alone to 1.3 million hex. Incredible. This is showing how much they still have left to actually yield during that time. And this is showing the total overall payout. You can see when they first staked, it was at a hex price of 0.008 cents. So they got in right before hex was a penny. Okay. Their average stake cost was $1,337. And so far, they have seen that turn into, you know, $10,000, $13,000, and $14,000. They've also held the entire time while it rallied all the way up to 50 cents and then went all the way back down to 3 cents. So this is someone who's not ending their stakes early, who hasn't ended their stakes early. Looks like they're using the staker app because it says stakes made 1, which means it's just basing it on a contract, and you can do a multi-call contract. And that's why I also love using the staker app, because it divvies up your hex, and you just say you want to do it every 4 years, and you say you want 3 stakes, and it'll say, cool, 2024, 2028, 2032, 154,410. So you don't even have to worry about trying to think about it. Love it. I love it. This is incredible. This turtle's doing things that I love seeing, okay? And it's definitely going to be a squid soon. Definitely going to be a squid, right? I mean, incredible, right? If they just added, and they're close enough right now. They literally have, you know, 10 point something T-shares. They're literally at the very cusp. Where's the T-shares at? Hold up. Oh, so it shows them already having 24 T-shares. So interesting. So this isn't necessarily showing them as a turtle league, because turtles are only, oh, it's up to 100,000. It's up to 100. Yeah, so they are a turtle. Cool. Damn, doing good, turtle. Doing very good. I love seeing that. Because that is how you play this game. That is what you want to see. And guys, let me show you some math on this too. Excuse me. So 154,000. I'm just going to say exactly what they had. They have 843,000 hex right now. And back when it was at 50 cents and it rallied all the way up to 50 cents, $421,000. And they didn't pull their money out. Like, guys, that is why you stake, because who knows if they had pulled out the money earlier. Maybe they sold it at 20 cents on the rally up and missed the rally all the way up to 50. Maybe they sold it at the tippy top and happened to sell it at 50 cents, which I doubt. But then they went and spent all their money on other stuff that they didn't need at this point in time. Like, this person is staked and they're waiting until their stake ends to do something different. Like, they don't need to worry about anything. They're good. They're Gucci. And man, Hex Turtle. What is this? 096B. I'm going to give you a little shout out over here as well. We're going to do a little round of applause on that one for sure, right? We're going to do a round of applause for sure. That's a turtle. That's a turtle doing things right, okay? That is how you want to make sure that you see it. There's a lot of turtle wallets that have 102 T-shares. Yeah, 1,000%. And that's why we're looking at these wallets, right? Because I'm very curious as to, like, man, like, I almost imagined that the turtles would almost be more tempted to, you know, do something almost a little bit stupid. Because whales and sharks typically don't need to sell, because they've already got millions either in their own bank account, or they're all in their own different wallets, or they've spread their wealth and they have it set up in a way that's good. For the crabs, turtles, shrimp, those are the people that are trying to grow into that next level of retirement, generational wealth, how to get it done, okay? So I love seeing it. Kudos, kudos, kudos. On to the next turtle right here. We have 03CE. And let me see here. Yeah, I forgot that the T-shares don't grow. If they don't buy more, the T-shares don't grow. Yeah, exactly. That's how we rank up in Hex. That's how you rank up in the staking league, because like T-shares are actually becoming a depreciating item, a commodity. T-shares are becoming harder and harder to get. Folks, I looked at a chart showing like what could be possible. Let me see if I can find that chart, because oh my gosh. I looked at a chart as to like what could be possible for where the T-shares could go. And by 2030, I want to say it was going to cost over 100,000 hex for one T-share. And that's just in 10 years or 8 years. So while that person is doing well, if they want to maintain the current status that they have, they're going to need to stake longer, or they need to add more to the stake to, you know, increase the overall amount as well. So let me see if I can pull it up. Give me 1 second. Nope. Come on. Come on, come on. Here we go. None of that. So I'm trying to see out where that chart was, because whenever I looked at it, it's just incredible. You start seeing it. Share rate change. ROI, best time to stake. Max theoretical T-shares. Wonder if it's going to be this one. Let me see if I can pull it up. So I'm going to add the date to, we'll just say, you know, 10 years from now. 2032. I'm going to let it do its thing and load. And of course, it's going to load slow because it's adding a whole bunch of information on that one, which can't blame them for sure. So we'll come back to that particular page because, you know, it's always good to see. But yeah, the turtles, hey, that turtle doing good, right? That turtle's doing exactly what they need to do, in my opinion. They have staked what they needed to stake. And let me pull up the turtles again. We got the turtles. Turtles. All right. Which wallet are we on right now? 03C8. They are holding some liquid. They've converted some USDC, or they have it as USDC. And they're holding 105,000 liquid hex as well. So they're sitting on about $20,000. They also have some Hedron, Poly, and so they definitely have the Hex ecosystem involved in what they're doing. Let's check out their overall ERC20 transactions. It looks like they just moved over from Coinbase another 3,000. I don't know what this is. Whoboy18, I have no idea. Oh, it's probably a scam. Yeah. Anytime you see this stuff, folks, on Etherscan, when you pull up this information, you can always see they have some tokens already listed, but there's typically going to be some of these BS tokens as well. So don't actually interact with these. It's bad news bears if you do. These are items that can almost give access to all of your keys and seed words. So while you see that this Whoboy18 may show up in your account and a value of 70 for the amount, if you start seeing these little indicators, it's typically meaning just stay away from. So in MetaMask, you can actually hide that token if you don't even want to see it. But they have been moving some USDC out quite a bit over here, and looks like they just re-put that 3,000 back in. So not exactly sure, because if we add this up, what, 300, 1,200 is 15, another 15 is 3,000, and then a couple of hundred on top of that, and then they moved the money right back for 3,000. So either replenishing, restocking. It looks like they are doing every what, 2 weeks or so, another 4,000 USDC. Yeah, and they keep kind of doing that every couple weeks, and then they move it out to a different wallet, multiple wallets. Usually this is someone who's probably paying someone some service, And when I start seeing multiple wallets being sent, 15, 500, 550, and they're not all the same address, like not one of these is the same address, that usually means they actually are paying someone in USDC, in my opinion. I'm not going to look into those so much because it usually means like they aren't typically correlated with this wallet. Where they might be, I just don't see that particular item happening. T-share price is always going up and to the right. Yeah, 1000%. Like, and that's what's so tough for everyone to understand is that the T-share price is literally always going to go up and to the right. And so there is no way of ever having more T-shares in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so make sure that y'all are being mindful of everything that you're doing, because this is kind of showing, this is a quick tab of T-shares by date. So back in January of 2021, there were roughly 110,000, 105 million T-shares in existence. And then you go into December of where we're at now, and we are down to 71 million T-shares. So keep that in mind, right? This is a number that's definitely depreciating. And again, I'm pulling this up from a website, so I don't want to, get too crazy on it, because I pulled that one up real fast. So, don't hold my feet to the fire if I'm incorrect there, which I get. Yep. Definitely. Yeah, Celtics is saying it correctly. StakeGrab does pay some of the fees for sure. And so that's just a way of getting it done. So let's pull up this wallet again, see what transactions they got going on, see what their stakes look like. They're clearly a turtle. They clearly are familiar with the crypto world because they're paying someone in crypto. And so usually, or they're at least paying, they're moving crypto around in certain ways, in certain amounts, and then replenishing that with other stuff. Why don't I see any stakes with this one though? If they're a turtle, they should be staked. Come on. Here we go. Paste 03CB. Okay, let's see. Now this is another website, aphex.charts or aphex.win/charts. It kind of lets you have a good idea of their share history. Like, so at some point in time they had, 130 T-shares, it looks like, and then they've kind of dwindled that down, and now they only have, 102 T-shares. So that's what we're talking about there. It gets harder and harder to maintain your T-shares, folks. So when you end your stake, if you're not going longer, if you're not going bigger, if you're not doing anything you can, you actually end up depreciating your stakes over time, and you end up losing those T-shares over time as well. And so their first stake that they have, man, is this another 30-day rolling cycle? It sure is. They have one stake. They got 100 T-shares. Trying to see on here. Wow, this thing's just bouncing all around for this particular website. Maybe it's still loading stuff. Let me go to a different website real fast, and it's stakehex.today, because it kind of pulls up stakes in a different way, so I don't have to worry about like the full chart trying to load. Okay, cool. So okay, yeah, never mind. So they have 96 stakes. That's why I was trying to like load a whole bunch of information. They don't just have one stake, they have 96 stakes. And so they have 103 T-shares. They're sitting on 105,000 liquid HEX. And their projected HEX at the end of it all is going to be 4.4. Those are all just projected here. So let's look at current, because that's what really matters. Months, stakes, months. It doesn't really matter so much. And HEX. Cool. So yeah, this person, goodness gracious, looks like they have almost a monthly. So we have March, June, August, November, January, March, May, September, December, March, May, September, December, March, May, September. So They have, what would that be? Almost quarterly stakes ending for the next 15 years, it seems. And in between, they've filled some of those gaps. They have some with only 442 B shares, which is less than a T share, so half a T share. They have some with 3.85 T shares. This person is sporadic AF, in my opinion. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're saying this is a nice ladder? Yes, and yes, we'll just say yes. They're so sporadic, it's crazy. Guys, this is wild because they usually when you see something like this, they go bigger, longer, you know, or they go bigger, shorter. Whereas these people are just kind of like shooting a shotgun, like bam, there's, you know, bam, here's a stake, and bam, here's a stake, and bam, here's a stake, right? Because you got some with 1 T share, you got some with half a T share, you got some with 3 T shares. And so, like, I guess they're just trying to get in and just fill it in every single chance they can, all the way up until 2037. So, like, they have 15-year stakes going on. Like, don't get me wrong, they have a buttload of stakes, guys. Like 96 stakes, that's not a simple number by any means, right? And I think that's probably why this page was taking a little bit longer to load, because it was trying to pull up all that information as well. And yeah, so let's look at the ladder for what they have. So this is why I like apex.win. Oh, don't do that to me, man. Show me the full freaking ladder. It just loaded. And then I just had to go and say something about why I like it, and then it just said no. Frustrating. Frustrating. Super frustrating. Unfortunate. Are you going to show me it again? Okay, cool. Do I just have to not go down a certain page? Let's see if I can just leave it right here. So they have 96 stakes. Damn, see, it did the same thing again. I'm not sure why it keeps jumping like that, folks. Maybe y'all can explain. Because whenever I go down a certain amount on the page, it loads, and then I go back and I can see their full ladder setup. And then it does, and then something else happens where it, like, is freaking out. If y'all can see what it's doing, it looks like a nice ladder, and then it goes to show just this one stake, which is obviously incorrect, right? And we already know that because, like, we've already done seen. Okay, maybe. Well, clearly they can't go out to 2045 either, so we know that's incorrect too. Okay, cool. So it's definitely trying to load on this one, and maybe I'm just being like super impatient. I don't know. Delay gratification. So they have most of their stakes ending, and you can see they have one big one and then short ones. Man, this is frustrating looking at. Unfortunately, I don't know. I love the website whenever you can see it correctly, but whenever it gets mad like this, it can get a little bit frustrating, unfortunately. So let me see if I can check out a different way to look at this. Oh, it's probably freaking some ad block thing that is going on. Go.hex.com. I don't know what's happening. And I'm going to connect it with this wallet and see if I can get in that way. Use address from clipboard. 03C8. Okay. It doesn't look as pretty when I share this, so just be mindful of that. But this is actually go.hex.com with that particular wallet entered as the connected wallet. And so it'll show me the amount for all of their stakes. Okay. Show all daily data and stake. Cool. So this is actually what their stakes are looking like right now at this point in time, okay? They started all of their stakes, and you can see this goes way back here, right? They started their stakes on September 17th of 2021, and they do have 96 stakes, so that's why that website's probably freaking out a little bit every single time it tries to load, because it's a lot of stakes, right? And so what these folks are doing overall is and let me see if I can go back and type it in here too. Cool. So using go.hex.com, these are actually all of their stakes. This actually lists their ROI that they've had. They list the amount that they actually have in the account in terms of USD for current value in terms of HEX, and it shows the yield as well. Look at the shares though, folks. This is crazy because this is where again, this person's so shotgun in their strategy. It just almost seems like they're staking without a strategy, and I could be way wrong. And this person could have a full strategy every single time something happens. But the biggest amount that they have is one with 3 T shares. If you have 96 stakes and your biggest one is 9 and 3, I think things are a little bit backwards because you have this one ending 19, or you have this one ending in 2025, and then their next nearest biggest T share amount is ending in 2033, and then going further 2034. So usually what you have happen is you see this as you go bigger in the beginning. So you would see this all backwards. Like this would actually be the longest one showing 3, and then you go down, right? And so you go 3, 2, 1, because that has a strategy in play. Whereas these folks, you can see they're just kind of all around. They're staking every single chance they can, and it seems like they're filling in dates every time they can. And they're probably at this point in time trying to make it so that way they have a stake ending monthly. I don't know for sure what this turtle's doing. They are a sporadic turtle though. They are swimming and swimming hard. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it was so many stakes on the other website, it just doesn't even show all of the stakes. I'm just looking at something real fast, y'all. Yeah, crazy, folks. Like, this is the same website we always look at when we look at this stuff. There's so many stakes, it doesn't even like list an average. And again, like, it's all based on just data input into the system. But you can see like the hex that they staked, like there's some with 20, there's some with 17, there's some with 5, but they're all so far apart in terms of different days. They have 3 stakes ending all within 3 days. That don't make any sense to me. Like, why would you continue to fill in stakes that are around the same time frame? You have a couple of other stakes here that are ending on the exact same day or 1 day apart. So like they are like full sporadic mode in my opinion, unfortunately. I can't necessarily agree with this particular turtle on how they do it, but you know, to every single person is their own individual method, and that's why they do it. That's definitely a lot of fees, and that's what you want to be careful of when you have so many stakes available. You start looking at paying high fees. So you don't want to have like daily stakes, you don't want to have weekly stakes. Crypto Coffee says like he recommends don't go below quarterly stakes. Biannual stakes even is what he says. The strategy I used was, unfortunately and fortunately, I have it to where you stake for 1 year and you set every single month for 1 year 15 stakes at the beginning of the month, and so you can actually by the end of it all pay yourself monthly for the next 15 years. So that's the strategy that I used, and I am a big fan of that because I like getting paid monthly, and usually the fees are well within reason. And if you don't wait for the fees, just wait until the gas fees are a little bit better time. But yeah, when we start seeing gas fees start going up again, when the bull market starts coming and Ethereum starts rising and people start getting back into NFTs, and you know, the gas fees start going crazy, like these fees start eating into any profit that you may have had. So instead of combining, say example, these two and just making it 10,000, he has it split up between 2 5,000 ones, 3 5,000 ones, because they are ending within 6 days apart. So you could have just literally had one stake for 15,000 and only have to pay one fee, but instead they have 3. So I don't recommend going this way per se. But hey, everyone's gonna have what they decide and what makes sense. And for this particular turtle, it seems like they're trying to make it, and maybe they forgot they already had a stake done. And I've seen that before too. If you don't actually have some way to monitor your stakes, which is where Staker app can come in huge, because you can just type in your wallet address and you can monitor your stakes that way. I actually have downloaded BlueStacks, and I'm going to be probably using Staker app to maybe look at some wallets and look at it in a more user-friendly way. And that's a way that I might be implementing into my channel. Yeah, these wallets going to be saved by the Pulse chain. Facts. Hexflex in the house. Hello. Anyone tuning in right now, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment in the chat, leave a little message. Let me know where you're from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Currently, it is around almost 2 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Texas. We got the weather doing some crazy things with 30-mile-per-hour winds today. But you know, whenever you're inside and you're all chilling, everything is all good in the hood, as Hodl Dog would say. We got push on end button. Yeah. So check this out, folks. Whenever you're ending a stake and it's not due yet, let me share this tab because I forgot. When you're ending a stake and it's not due, you get a big old warning sign saying confirm end stake. Are you sure you want an emergency end stake? And if you click it one more time, you're going to have another transaction pop up. And I can't do it because this is me viewing this wallet. I don't actually have access to this particular wallet right here. So another transaction will pop up on MetaMask, and you then have to click confirm on that. So you can't accidentally end your stake. Read this message with me. Confirm end stake. Are you sure you want to emergency end stake? Remember that you made a commitment to stay staked. This is an advanced feature for advanced users. You should not run this unless you fully understand what it will do. Guys, if you're clicking this and you are ending the stake, you get another transaction that pops up to confirm it on MetaMask. Wild. Anyone who's trying to end it is just a fool, in my opinion. Be careful, be cautious. There are certain times where ending it could pertain. And folks, life is crazy. Life is full of unexpecteds. So I'm not saying if you end it early that you are straight stupid. But if you go through the process of ending it and you say, oh, I didn't know ending it would ruin it or burn it or do something, then again, like, look into it further, right? So definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, exactly. Make order on percent elapsed. I don't know what you're talking about on that one. Order on percent elapsed. Just so you're talking about the progress bar, maybe. I just want to make sure I understand. Celtics. Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. Go on. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly says yes. Hexologist was the first doing that error about staker fees or stakes and fees. What's up, Hexicans? 10 Top in the house. Appreciate you, 10 Top. Love the pick, Mandalorian style. We got 10 Top. Hey, exactly. When you are on go.hex.com, you can push end button on the left side to get all the stakes and number. Yeah. No, I was doing it. Yeah, for sure. I agree with the stakes in order in that regard. I was doing it to look at like what their amount was in the T-share amount, because like this particular turtle, like we're looking at right now, they have multiple stakes ending on the exact same day that they started, on either the exact same day or slightly close to each other on the exact same day. So look, you have two ending on 1851, which is December 25th, 2024. They started both of these stakes on the exact same day, and they did them both for 10,000. So why would you not get the 20,000? Do the longer pays better bonus, because you would get a slightly bigger bonus. It just like they're slightly off on what they're doing here. They're slightly off on what they're doing. Oh my God, scammers aren't too stupid, are they? Yeah, no, I mean, unfortunately, you know, everyone ranted and raved about SBF being the next Wonder Boy, and You know, you got every freaking person talking about how the good that he's gonna do and how he's gonna be, could be the next Warren Buffett and all this BS. And then look, he just scammed so many folks. And then you look back at his stuff and you realize that like him and his buddies have been setting up like scams previously. And man, when people start diving into someone's life and really diving in, you can see their true self really start to show. So he tries to play this act that, oh, I didn't know any better, and then you find out he knew everything all along. He just straight up was just screwing people and then asking for more money, right? That's a true scam situation. That's how you get into like the Bernie Madoffs and, you know, all the Ponzi mechanics, and then, you know, all that. That's truly what you do. And that's why I love Richard Hart, guys. Like, he ain't asking for a single dime. He doesn't monetize his channel. He doesn't take any of the super chats. He has them all turned off and disabled. Like, the man's a G. He doesn't need our money, and he has straight up said that on time and time again. He ain't trying to come for our money. He don't want our money. He wants us to be able to live our lives, learn how to live our lives the right way, and do things the right way. Tin Top says, "What up, Gaiman?" For sure, for sure. So, Celtics, do you go by Gaiman or Celtics? And am I saying it incorrectly when I say Celtics? Because I should be saying HEX, but it just rolls off the tongue as Celtics. No, I was referring to the possibility that compromised wallets would render all your assumptions false on a particular wallet. Gotcha, yeah. I mean, yeah, in that scenario for sure. Definitely a possibility, guys. And this is one of those scenarios that, like, you know, you always want to be cautious when it comes to this stuff. It looks like the price of HEX is now below 2.7 cents. Got a little bit of a red here, so wanted to see this sucker kind of go back and flip back in the green. We got plenty of day left in today's. We got a few more hours before the day closes and ticks over. I really want to see this 9 EMA flip over this 15 EMA. That's really going to give me that bullish signal that we're looking for, because when I look at the Aurochs indicators, it shows the buys, sells, and all that. But whenever I pull it up through volume, you know, it shows the volume indicators down here. Doesn't look like there's too much volume happening right now. So good and bad, right? It just is what it is at that point, and that's what we're waiting on. Cool. Yeah, for anyone who is tuning in on the video, whoa, zoom out on that. Anyone who is tuning in on the video, I appreciate everyone again checking this video out. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. If you have a lot of HEX, divide the stakes on several wallets. Oh yes, dude, my gosh, yes. Okay, exactly, hits the nail on the head, right? So like, if you were this turtle, for example, the turtle that we've been looking at, the turtle that has 96 stakes open right now, so many stakes. Like, if you're doing stakes on the exact same day, then make it in a different wallet, so that way you still have them ending on the exact same day. And if one of the wallets get compromised, then you're still covered, because you still have HEX ending on the other wallets that you have. And so in this scenario, it is a phenomenal way. That is, when I say diversify, I am referring to diversify your HEX and the wealth that you accumulate from HEX into different wallets. Having multiple wallets to make it happen, make it so much easier. And that way you have HEX ending on multiple wallets. So if one does get hacked, if one does get compromised, you're still covered overall. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Whatever you like to call. So I call it Celtics on that one. It don't bother you, right? Hey, I ain't calling nobody a loser, man. We all winners in this game. What is it? We all winners. Throw up the little gang signs over here. We winning. West side? No, we all winning for sure though. Like, if you win this game, you pass the IQ test to get into HEX, and you became a staker in HEX, then that's just winning in my opinion, right? So we got a couple of turtles doing some crazy things. We got one who's rolling their stakes every 30 days. We have another one who I love. They have very few stakes. They have it spread out over every 4 years, possibly regarding the halving of Bitcoin or the next bull rally and cyclical cycles. You have one who is just sporadic and just taking a shotgun and and just shooting them around and ending their stakes and putting their stakes wherever. Like they're going absolutely wild. And you know, let's look at the next one, okay? Let's see what we got going on over here too. Here we go, and let's kick to someone who's got maybe not 100 T shares. Let's kick to someone. What number do y'all want to see? Like 50? Y'all want to see 10? What number are y'all wanting to see in chat? Is there a number for T shares that you're wanting to kind of dive into? Is there a particular setup that you wanted to see? Do y'all want to know maybe more about, you know, launch of Staker at V2? You know, we're just kind of here chatting right now at this moment in time, folks. Obviously, I'm looking into the Hex Turtles. We're looking into 3 things. 25. Hex Auto, first one in the chat. We down to 25. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit so I can scroll a little faster. All right, cool. All right. We're going to get down to the 25s, promise. There's just, you know, 18,000 folks here in the Turtle League. So, I think there's going to be more folks here in this little 25 region for sure. Cool. So we get in there. We're close. Come on. And yeah, short-term rolling stakes, man. So short-term rolling stakes are good and beneficial for someone who's got like a lot of Hex. Otherwise, it's not very advantageous to do rolling stakes, especially if you're sitting in the lower side of like less than 10 T shares, for example, and you're in the crab world, shrimp world. Rolling stakes end up getting you wrecked, in my opinion, because then you start having gas fees eating to the profit. You only make a few on your ROI because, you know, in that regard, it's like 9% APY. So rolling stakes can be advantageous to someone who's got like millions and millions of Hex, for example. But if you're sitting here with, okay, we're curious what this person, okay, so they ain't even holding any liquid Hex. Cool. They are holding some money though in terms of other products and cryptos. So we're gonna pull up this wallet right here, D122A. That is the wallet we're gonna look at. And so I am going to pull this up on a couple different websites real fast. Give me 1 second while I get all of it set up. 122A. I'm going to open the stakes there. I'm going to open the stakes here. Whoop. And we're going to see what their wallet's doing. What kind of transactions do they do? Are they trading a lot? Cool. So let's see. They are pretty busy, right? This is someone who's pretty active with their account, in my opinion, just because they're 2 days, 14 days, 15 days, 21 days. And that's something I see a lot more often when it comes to turtles. They typically start playing with other cryptos, in my opinion, because, you know, that's like the turtles are the ones that, you know, I don't want to say anyone, but like they feel like they have some understanding in some sense. They have some financials or whatever, and they start doing weird stuff. So let's just check out what this one's doing. Oh. Straight up hit that off my headset, which is wild. I'm running to get the Apple Air Max, right? And so, you know, those are like $500 or whatever, and I'd rather buy Hex and delay it and just buy it later. I was telling Crypto Coffee, I was like, man, I want to get like the Shure mic and I want to get all this, but I'll wait till Pulse Chain, because then we can start earning profits through other methods. The one reason why I love Hex, and also like the downside that I have with Hex, is that you have to sell your Hex to profit out, unfortunately. Like, and I was telling Randy the same thing too. Like, you have to sell your Hex in order to cash out the profits, which is like selling the gold that you don't want to sell. And so I love the idea that we're going to have Pulse Chain, Pulse X, we're going to have liquid loans available, we're going to have single-sided staking, We're gonna have a whole new world open up to us, which I just cannot wait, folks. I can't wait. I can wait. Obviously, I have to wait. I don't have a choice. All right. Let's see what we got going on. So we have this wallet again. 122A is the last four. They have several other tokens that they use. They're adjusting some tokens and converting it into USDC and just holding on to USDC. And other than that, they're buying other tokens, it seems like, because they're just trying to make it, in my mind, in my opinion. They have the HEX that they converted some USDT, converted that into HEX, and they have staked that HEX here. So this is them sending it to that burn address. So we're going to see at least one stake for 105,000 HEX. Sorry, I'm making sure my pup was in here with me, which he is. And it looks like, yeah, they're on other exchanges, KuCoin, and they're using 1inch and Uniswap. So they're definitely familiar with some idea of DeFi because they're using all these products here. And so let's just see what their HEX stakes look like here. Bam. Why is it not pulling up the information whenever I actually load it? Which, I love this website because it would tell me how many stakes they had, the average length, and all that good stuff. It would tell me like their entry price, which it still does down here. So they were getting into HEX around 3 cents, 2 cents, and 2 cents. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Celtics is absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, so I was talking about like, you know, one of the downsides to HEX is that you have to sell it. Well, we now have so many other derivatives that come from Maximus and Hedron and Icosa. So what you can do is actually make an HSI stake or, you know, a Hedron stake instance and sell it to Icosa. You stake the Icosa and earn your HEX interest or both principal and interest and never sell HEX. Yeah, there's now methods in order to do that to get around not having to sell HEX for sure. For sure. I think the prices on those is still going to fluctuate along with HEX as well. And the prices are typically lower in terms of what you can do with it for now. But that's why I say sell HEX in this regard. But yeah, there are other instances where you can get around that. So this person started all of their stakes just recently, 11/14 of 2022, 11/23, and 11/22. They have them all ending around the same time frame. Interesting. Very interesting. See, like when I see stuff like this, it really just kind of boggles my mind, folks. You're talking about a 30-day window. And if you're willing to wait until May of 2023, why would you not just have it all lumped together? Am I just being too critical when I think of this stuff? Because like imagine they did one stake. Imagine they did one stake for 582,000 HEX. And then that one stake, they probably ended up getting more T-shares in all reality because longer pays better and bigger pays better, even though bigger pays better would be very small in this regard. But you have it ending all around a 30-day window. And I can't quite wrap my head around this one here. So I don't know if they've staked before, which is why I love this one, because it said like if they've staked or whatever, it would pull this up on the website using right here. You know what I need to get? I need to get a mouse highlight. I'm going to type that in. Mouse highlight. Mac. I had one on my Windows computer and loved it. And I will get one on my Mac because it makes it so much easier to see where I'm pointing instead of like circling it like that. Yeah. So I'll figure that out. Whoop. Yeah, I'll figure that out in a little bit. I'm just gonna leave it there so that way I don't forget. But yeah, so this particular person is doing something that I can't grasp my head around personally, because like they have 3 stakes that they all did around the same time frame within a month. Again, within a month. And then they have 3 stakes ending around the same time frame within the same month for the stake ends. So I don't get it. I would see this one either going for 2023, 2024, 2025 and going that route and having 1 stake in there. But to have them all end within the same month, I don't think that's a wise decision. You pay 3 gas fees within the same month, and it just doesn't make sense to do that. So yeah, I don't get it. It don't work for me. It don't work. Celtics is saying longer pays better, way better. So push your dust in the corners of your brain and save on fees. Yeah, for sure. Like longer pays better is like the huge thing because you get an additional 20% every year that you extend. So they didn't even go out 1 year on this stake, okay? Because they have it ending within 2023, within 6 months of them initially staking in the first place. So they didn't even make it out to the first year, which pays an additional 20%. And it gives them a higher T share. So when you make it the 1 year mark, then you have it ending 2 years, and then that pays an additional 20%. So now you're up to 40, and you go that all the way up to 10 years, paying an additional 200%. So like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't like that one. Yeah, this is them showing exactly what we just talked about. They have them all starting within relatively the same week. We have what, November 14th to November 23rd. So yeah, within the same week, almost 9 days. And then you have them all ending within a 30-day window. And you could have gotten so much different items happen, and it could have been paid out and played out so much differently too. Because now when you end your stakes, you have to pay 3 different gas fees to end each individual stake. I wonder if that'll come on the Stake Rat V2. I don't know why you ever would, because this was never something that you would have. You can do a multiple stake instance, but I wonder if you can do a multiple in stake instance. Like maybe you have 1 on good accounting or 3 on good accounting and then 1 that you're just waiting on, and then you just do a multiple in stake instance. I don't think that's possible. I've never tried. I've never looked into it. I have no idea. Give me 1 second. Cool. Had to send a message out real fast. Okay, cool. So yeah, damn, I don't get it. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna move on. This turtle confuses the F out of me. Love you to death, turtle. You're in the Hex community. I just don't understand your brain behind that one. Maybe it's a big brain thing that I just can't even imagine at this point in time. You have another turtle right here, and this is going to be the contract ending in 987B. They have claimed their Pulse Dogecoin during the claim period. So they're sitting on basically that as liquid cash. Their ERC20 tokens, they don't really seem too active, right? They've moved out some money. They're in the Pulse Dogecoin or Pulse Doge Bitcoin, Pulse Bitcoin, whatever that thing is called, the ASIC nonsense. I don't want to say I'm not a fan of the Pulse Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, but I think it's distracting you from Hex. I'll say it like that. Yeah, it's distracting you from Hex. And especially now that you get Hedron with it too. It just don't make sense to go that route, but you know, everyone's going to chase the new shiny object, and I mean, this just kind of proves that same instance, right? You're going to have people convert some Hedron in this instance to get it over and switch it over into USDC, and then they're switching that USDC and minting and creating the Pulse Bitcoin and going with that method and that route. So they're trying to stay active, I guess, but usually what ends up happening is, you know, we don't have diamond hands. I know I don't have diamond hands in that regard, so that's why I stake, because I don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. It's just not enticing for me. But it looks like they do have some stakes, so let's just take a look and gander as to what they're doing. Not bad. Half a halving. Must be well synced though, or you're always dephased. Yeah, and so yeah, and desynchronized. Yeah, for sure, Celtics, and that's what I was saying. Like, it just doesn't make sense in that regard either. 10 top in the house. Hopefully this is just one of those guys wallets that's trying to time the launch of Pulse Chain. Funny. That is very funny, 10 top. I didn't even think about the launch of Pulse Chain being the reason as to like why they're all ending around the same time frame. But now that you say it like that, it makes sense as to why they could all end around that time. And they aren't actually invested in staking HEX. They just want to stake so they don't sell and earn some more yield. And then that way when Pulse Chain does launch, they will just convert that Pulse Chain, or they'll convert the HEX that they had staked into Pulse, PLSX, or whatever other DeFi project they want to. That's funny. That's a good point. 10 top, that is a great point as well. Like, didn't even think about that. I have a rule, and this is 10 top as well. I have a rule for myself and anyone who cares to listen. 2-year minimum stake. Man, that's a key rule for sure. Like, I always say just one. Like, so one gets you out of the tax implementation for the long-term holding. So that way you don't have to worry about paying the short-term capital gains. You can actually get long-term capital gains if you live in the US. And so that's why I recommend at least going 1. And then if you go 2, you know, that's even better in my opinion, because I think with just how fast we saw a year go by, because this year's almost over, folks. It's what, December 14th? We got 16 days left, 17 days left in the year. And then we're into 2023. Like, so it flies by very quick, very, very fast. And while it may not seem that way because we're all kind of waiting in anticipation for the launch of Pulse Chain, it clearly flies by. So 2 years is definitely not a bad rule of thumb, 10 top, by any means. So definitely share that information. All right now, crypto honesty. All right now, all right. No, it's still weird that they would started the same week. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They that's just a thought. I think they are trying to time the launch of Pulse Chain. They keep switching whatever they have into the HEX and then just staking it, because they did it all within a 9-day span for that turtle. So maybe they had some money, converted it, staked it, some money, converted it, staked it, some money, converted it, staked it, is how it all played out. But it just seems like, you know, they clearly aren't doing it for the staking mechanics. And if they are, they don't understand how the staking mechanics work. Let's just say leave it like that for sure. Yeah, it's definitely weird that they would do that, right? For sure. And so we have we have this turtle looking at 987B. Let's see what their stakes look like. Let's see what all of it looks like here. So I'm going to share this tab. We're going to go up. We're going to close that. I want to make sure this re-pulls up the information because I don't like it showing blank. I don't know why it's showing blank. Okay, cool. It's reloading everything. Cool. Now let's re-enter this. Filter. Why is it showing blank? I don't... Because it still shows the stakes down here. I love this little area about it. I wonder if I just need to reload. 1 second. Let me try to see if I can just reload the page and see if that will work. And for those of y'all who don't know where I'm getting this information from, if you go to hexfire.io in the top right corner, there's 3 little Greek symbols, alpha, omega, and I don't even know what M stands for, unfortunately. But when you click on the omega symbol, that's going to be where I'm using this, and then it pulls up all this information for hex data. So I did just need to reload it. Damn it. All right, well, you know, we live, we learn. Next time I'll reload if I start getting impatient and it stops working for whatever reason. Because this is what I love about this website, right? It shows me their number of open stakes, the average length, so they're staked at least 6.5 years, how much they staked, how much interest they've earned, what their estimated APY is, how much it initially costs them to stake. So unfortunately, they're negative on their stake, which is all good because this is only in terms of USD price. So in terms of that, they are down almost half what they initially had. Their lowest hex price and highest hex price, you can see what they bought at. And so they have an average hex price of around 10 cents. But their cost basis is actually lowered because every day they earn additional hex. And this is what I talk about. The dollar cost average strategy works in the same sense when you stake. Just by staking, you're lowering your dollar cost average strategy, because whether or not the price goes up or the price goes down, you earn more hex every single day. Now, how much hex you earn depends on how many T-shares you have. And so that's what all of this is about. So their average cost basis is 7 cents, but the average hex price they paid was 10 cents. So that is a clear example of how the DCA works. So far, they've made a total of 8 stakes and they've ended 5 already. Currently, the hex stakes that are showing available at this moment in time, they have all of them starting. Nope, not all. They had 2 starting July 29th of 2021. You had 1 starting November 7th of 2022. They did that one for a short period of time, which looks like 6 months. 30, 60, 90. Yeah, so 6 months is what that one looks like for the most recent. Then they have longer ones. They have one that went all the way out to 55 or Cuatro Cinco. Then they have another one ending 1,500 days from now, which is September 6th, 2025. Overall, this is exactly what I like seeing too. In reality, they have one big rolling stake, unfortunately. I don't like seeing rolling stakes because I'm not a fan. Maybe I just don't have it to where it makes sense to me to do rolling stakes, but I see that as a losing strategy, and so I don't like playing that gambit. But they have one that goes bigger that they roll. They have one that goes middle, but they hold it for, 4 years. And then they have one that they sent long for the smallest amount of 30,000 hex. So I see a lot of people go with this strategy where they almost do bigger in the beginning and go smaller at the end, because in 15 years, if hex does reach even $1, that turns into, and guys, like, I think it's going to be way above that, but who knows what's going to happen. That turns this 30,000 hex that technically only cost them $1,300, and it could turn into $30,000 in 15 years. I would see that almost like a no-brainer in my mind, because I don't know of any other way that in 15 years you're going to turn $1,000 into $30,000. And that's just being very conservative on the very conservative side. Like, let's bump this up and say it's $3. That's a $90,000 amount that it could turn into. Plus, they will have earned all the additional yield through that whole time. So this is the actual total that they would have at the end of that stake. So I was actually incorrect. So say hex is only $1 by the end of 15 years. That would have $201,000 on something that only cost them $1,300 today. That's if hex is only $1, folks. In freaking sane. Like, yes, please sign me up. This shit makes so much sense to me. Okay, my bad. I'm getting too excited. I'm bouncing around when I look at my numbers. I don't know why. Today I haven't had enough coffee, maybe. My numbers are a little bit off. Sue me or don't sue me, bro. The initial stake cost for them was $4,000, and you can see it right there at the bottom. I don't know. It shows the current value, but their current stake cost when they first set it up was $4,000. Okay. So if you have $4,000 and you're able to turn it into $201,000, assuming the price of HEX is $1 in 15 years, which again is super fucking lowball, then that is a phenomenal investment return. A 50x return in 15 years. You're not going to beat that. That's why we're in crypto. That's why I love HEX. Now let's be on the more bullish side and just say HEX is $3 in 15 years. Well, that turns this 4,000 initial to $603,000 in fucking 15 years. Let's go. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, 10 top for sure. HEX at $1 in 15 years. Hashtag sub me film. Oh, that's some extreme FUD in my opinion. Saying HEX is only at $1 in 15 years. But if I learn anything from Randy Hilarski, he said be low on the side of guesses. Because people are going to hold us accountable and look at this in 15 years somehow, and they're going to come back and be like, oh, I knew HEX wasn't at $1. And yet, you know, or whatever. I don't even know. People are stupid, man. And I myself am included within when I say people are stupid. So that is something that turns into a massive amount, guys. That's something that could be $4,000 today. HEX is at $3, and it turns it into $600,000 in 15 years. Yes, please. I will take that all day. Take that one to the bank for sure, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely some super FUD too. Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't know, but that's why I love these numbers, man. That's why I guess, man, like let's be conservative here. Like even if HEX is only at $1 in 15 years, do you have the chance to save $200,000 in 15 years? I know myself. I know how I've saved up until this point. I know how my savings looked up until I found HEX. And before that, guys, I don't think I was going to have 200,000 saved in 15 years. Okay. That's excluding the fact that we're constantly getting deflated by our price and currency. That's excluding a whole bunch of good information that we need to factor in. So this is a way you're almost like, it's a time lock that you just say, hey, I'm going to put this away. And worst case scenario, this is at $200,000 in 15 years. Like, I think any one of us would say, yes, I would gladly do that. And then let's be on the high side here. Let's just say this person, let's get fucking extremely bullish. Okay. You want to see some stupid numbers? So let's say HEX is at $50 in 15 years. And again, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. If this was at $50 for HEX, okay? Yeah. If this was at $50 HEX, this would be a $4,000 investment that they had staked, and that would turn it into $10,092,000 in 15 years. Are you telling me that you can't wait 15 years for 10 mil? I know every single one of us would say yes, please. But no one's going to commit to the time frame of understanding what it takes to get there. All the FUD that it had to go through, every little bit of information. And guys, this isn't even including the fact that it's getting duplicated on Pulse Chain. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, you know what? I'll even go back on the fucking bearish side real fast. In worst case scenario, HEX is only at $1 in 15 years on Pulse Chain and Ethereum. That $4,000 investment right now today could turn into $400,000, a 10x on your money in 15 years. Dude, that's a freaking no-brainer. And then assuming like, what if HEX is $2 on Pulse Chain and $1 on Ethereum because gas fees are higher? That's so much, man, guys, no-brainer. No-brainer. But you have to understand, like, they didn't just get there by accident, right? Like, they put forth the time. They handled all the FUD that we're hearing right now, all the SEC nonsense, all the allegations, everything happening with Pulse Chain not launching and Richard being a scammer and the price of HEX being down 95%. Like, these are moments in time where you get toughened. into a certain time. Celtic says, want to try and follow SPF? Go ahead. The only FUD I spread is the first inflation FUD. 1 gallon of gas is going to be $10,000 in 15 years. Hashtag Venezuela. Woo! Man, that's hyperinflation for sure. For sure. Oh, fiat inflation. I don't know why I said first. Terrible at reading. I even got glasses on today, too. Can't even read that. Anyways, definitely agree with that statement, too. Like, boy, that is wildly insane. If you're not liking this video, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're still here, I don't know what you're doing. You must be bored. You must hate yourself listening to me. But if you are enjoying this content, do me and yourself a favor. Click that like button down below. Click the subscribe button for more information. I'm looking to pass 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by the end of the year. That's a big goal. I'm currently sitting close to 400. And folks, I am enjoying every freaking moment of this. This is an absolute blast. Hopping on these streams with y'all. Hopping in here, being a part of the crypto community. Sitting at 396 subscribers right now. Looking to be at 400 here soon. Looking to be at 500 shortly after. And then we just continue. So folks, for those of y'all who are currently tuned in, I'm gonna get away from the turtles for a little bit now, because this is man, that gets me hyped up looking at that stuff. Like that gets me hyped up. Whenever I start doing, you can call them hopium math or whatever. I say $1 hex by 15 years. That's FUD. You know what I mean? Like something has to happen for the hex price to only be at $1 in 15 years. But everyone's going to have their own numbers. So I'm going to play it on the low side. We're going to play it on the lower side as well. Tomorrow, I actually had a question for everyone as well. So let me pull this back up here. Cool. So I had a question for everyone who's currently here tuning in on the chat. YouTube. Hey. Tomorrow, are y'all wanting me to look into the Pulse Chain testnet? Play around with the testnet? Is there even a point in playing around with the testnet right now, because we have the testnet v3 coming soon? I was planning on making a whole video about how to access, what to do, how to kind of adjust if you haven't done it yet. And, you know, I don't know if it's going to be worth showing everything now for testnet v2b, because we have the testnet v3 coming soon, and the mechanics are going to be slightly different. There is no... yeah, it's just going to be slightly different. Let's just say that. So let me know, I guess, in the comments below and the chat, if y'all want me to keep diving into these wallets, because I enjoy, whenever I dive into the wallets, man, I enjoy seeing what these folks are doing, whether it be something I can agree with or whether it be something that just don't make no sense to me whatsoever. So yeah, if you are here and you are wanting to see some information, let me know. I'm always happy to hear it as well, and always happy to check it out. And then we're going to start playing around with some of these sounds, like drum roll. And then we got the crowd applause that happened earlier, right? We got the crowd applause that happened earlier. So I'm always just trying to adjust these things, make it happen. Again, I do appreciate anyone who is taking the time to click on my video, watch these streams, leave a comment, leave a chat in the comments down below. It really is greatly appreciated, folks. You know, watching this grow ever so slightly, and watching this grow as fast as it has, actually, in my opinion, is an incredible thing. And I'm looking to keep getting better and better. So I hope everyone's willing to grow with me. And, you know, we got OGs already in the ATX crypto gang and the ATX crypto community. And it's just glad to be a Hexican here, man. It's a fun time. There's a lot happening. I know there's always things happening in the background, but yeah, I mean, really, I really just want to make sure that everyone had a good understanding of how stakes should work. Yeah, Crypto Money Gang is another streamer you could join up with. Yeah, for sure. So I've reached out to a few of the Hexican influencers, if you will, or the Hexican YouTubers. I got a couple of responses back, and we're looking to wait until We're looking to wait until, V3 comes out. We're looking to wait for other items to start populating. I'm really hoping to get Funding Jim on soon. That's probably my next person I'm gonna be having on stream, because fellow vet myself, and I love having the vets on the community, man. It's a phenomenal time, and I truly mean veteran when I say that. Served in the military, USMC, all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to having him on, the chats that we can have and everything, because he actually checked out one of my streams in the early days, and he actually reached out to me first. So I was humbled and honored that he would do that. And then Randy Hilarski is just always down, man. He's always down to have a good time. I want to get him back on the stream. I think I had just a phenomenal time with him. But yeah, definitely looking to interact more so with the HEX community. Get more involved on Twitter Spaces. Get more involved on live videos. I usually will watch a lot of the content after, because this is how the schedule works for me. For whatever reason, I miss the live content, and then I watch all their videos after. So, is there really a new documentary called Fake Fluencer? What platform is it on? I would assume Netflix when you say documentary, or is it something is it something that you actually see on YouTube? We got Celtic saying, I rock. Nice to follow you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Carts, we need to get your name out for all the hard work. I appreciate that. Yeah, and whenever I was looking and doing this stuff in the beginning, diving into wallets and everything, I was doing this already. And again, dude, I'm not a person to just get in front of the camera, share this information with people, because obviously I have my insights. Obviously I have my own items and my own viewpoints. I've gotten several people onboarded in the HEX community as well, friends, family. And so looking to make the content, I was almost scared, because when I got people onboarded, man, the amount of help they would need from me, because it's taking someone off the fiat world and into crypto world can be a bit of a transition. And with that transition comes a lot of security and a lot of safety issues that could easily happen. So every single time I got someone onboarded, I would make sure they had everything lined up, whether it be the stake wrap, whether it be funding their account to swap, whether it be I recommend these things. So if your seed words are on a stainless steel item, and then you can I keep them around, the treasure wallet, I have a box that I usually will show as well, because I would walk over to him and I'm like, dude, you could get all this, you can get it set up, or I can help you right now. And so I would make sure that they were so covered and so safe, but at the same time, it's the next level of safety that you have to learn to get to, and they would just skip to that level, and it's tough for them to almost understand. And so the amount of help that I would always have after, it was constant. And so it actually kind of deterred me away from truly onboarding and talking to every person I saw about HEX. And then plus my wife was, every single time we go somewhere, I would talk about HEX to friends, family. It was hilarious, man. So she got me to kind of calm down. And unless people start asking for information from me, I'm not out there trying to recruit everyone into the Hexican community as I once did, in the sense that if you aren't ready to be learning, if you aren't willing to be learning, if you're not looking for this at this point in time, it's tough. It's tough to explain to someone the benefits that come along with this. And so I can just share my perspective, and I realized that I would almost put forth my belief. And I had to realize I need to listen, right? And I need to be able to be open with it as well. Celtic sent the link in the chat as well. Let me see here what this link looks like. So it's on rad.live. I've never seen rad.live. I've never heard of rad.live in all reality. I'll probably have to check it out. Why not? The Fake Fluencer. Check it out. It's in the chat. It's another little channel here, the documentary. yeah, so definitely check it out. For everyone who loves checking information, I think this time is the best time to learn. We're in a bear market. Like, there's a lot going on. I'm not freaking out. I'm just trying to learn what to do to go forward in the future. I now have an understanding that profit taking has to be implemented somehow, some way, because I didn't take profits along the way, and so there has to be a system set up that makes sense for this to work. And these are all things that I'm learning, and I'm learning as we progress, which is why I dive into the wallets, which is why I want to see what other folks are doing, right? Are people trying to get out of the Hex community, or people moving everything into the Hex community? Because that's how I was, right? I found Hex and I was like, fuck all that other nonsense. Like, push that shit away. Sign me up for Hex, because it makes perfect sense for me. But it doesn't make sense for everyone, especially to go as heavy and to commit to something that they don't have a better understanding of. And so I'd always tell someone, if you are getting into Hex, always at least get one T-share. Whether that's a shorter stake and you get one T-share at least a year, or whether that's a 15-year stake or a 10-year stake to get you that one T-share. I think T-shares are going to be freaking gold. And I think at some point in time, the amount it's going to cost to have one T-share in terms of US dollar value, because the Hex, is going to be over $100,000. We were getting damn close, folks. We were getting super high. We were up to like almost $10,000 for one T-share during the bull market last year when Hex was at 56 cents. What is 18,000 times? Yeah, it was almost $10,000 to get one T-share back when we were in the bull market. So, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, that was some crazy time. And to think that we're not that far off. Like, assuming Hex is 100,000 Hex, and by 2030 for one T-share, and again, the Hex price is at $1 by 2030, that's going to be $100,000 to get one T-share. That's in US dollar value, I get. And that could be even, but like, my goodness, man, it's some crazy times here. Crazy, crazy times. Celtics is saying, you got it. You're in the market. You're winning now. Facts. Yeah, I don't want to be a fake influencer either. So I want to see what that fake influencer's about. And dude, I watched that Trust No One documentary on Netflix. And oh shit, dude, my mind went to that dark place. I don't know if y'all saw the stream there. I know several of y'all were in on that stream. My mind went to a dark place. Like, oh shit, what if Pulse Chain, what if Richard Hart passes away before he launches Pulse Chain? Like, are we all just SOL because we sacrificed? And I get we sacrificed, right? But like, does the project still continue? Do they go to another place? And like, I went to a dark place, man. I was like, oh my gosh, I just want Pulse Chain to launch, while he's still alive, because I got some experiences that, I don't like sharing, but I've lost several people in my lifetime, friends, family, and close relatives, and even brothers in arms. So it's one of those moments that when you hear it, man, I was like, oh shit, I just want it to launch, dude. I don't want him to pass away by any means, but dude, life's full of unexpecteds, right? What is it? Prepare for the worst and plan for the best. So yeah, definitely. Oh my god, yeah, Celtics. And it was like, oh dude, I went to a dark place. So if I watch Fake Influencer and I get some other dark thoughts, I'll be happy to share them for sure. I bought into node projects for passive income. It didn't end well. Lesson learned. Sometimes we have to learn those lessons, Cart. And like, as a parent myself, and even my parents, they always want to look out for their kids. You always want to look out and say, like, listen to me. I'm telling you, I've done this. It doesn't end well, and then they go and do it. And then I go and do it. And then us as humans, it's almost like dude, don't touch the plate. You walk into a Mexican restaurant, you order some freaking badass bomb food. Don't touch the plate. It's just hot. It's hot. It's hot as fuck. Don't touch the plate. You're like, yeah, right. Oh, fuck, that shit's hot, right? Like, I don't know why. Like, we're almost compelled to like need to learn that lesson. But hopefully those who do get burned by the plate learn the lesson not to touch the fucking plate next time. And so we're in that moment in time where it's like we can listen and hear from other people, but until you've experienced some of the pain, sometimes going through that pain is tough. For all the folks who lost money on BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager, FTX, like sucks, dude. It absolutely sucks for them. They got fucked. They were doing something wrong, but in their minds they weren't, because like that was how I got started in crypto. I didn't understand, and thank the Lord I found Richard Hart, and I got put in the direction of Richard Hart, and I opened my eyes and my mind to be open to a different point of view and a different way of doing things. And then from there I learned way more about DeFi, because I'm so thankful that I had, because I was on those projects, and if I didn't know about HEX, I'd probably still be in those fucking projects trying to earn bullshit 8% APY, whatever nonsense they offer. So, you know, sometimes getting burned and sometimes, you know, learning that lesson, while it's a painful one, as long as you're alive, we can recover. And I think that's what's tough. Is like we got several people who lost many dollars. Some folks, their life savings. There was a teacher pension fund who was involved with the FTX collapse, and my heart goes out to teachers, folks. My aunt was a teacher for 40 years, and you know, so my heart goes out to teachers, and for all those teachers, they didn't do anything wrong, man, and they're gonna not have any pension fund because the fund invested in something they thought was safe, and like, sucks, dude. That is fucking brutal. But like, as long as we're alive, money can be made up again. That's one thing I found out very early on in life, is money can always be made up. Like, yes, you can be truly broke. Yes, you can have poverty. Yes, you can have nothing, but money can always be made up again, right? So like, as long as you have your mental health, as long as you have someone that you can hold on to, reach out to, friends, family, close relative, neighbor, whatever it is, you dog, you know what I mean? Your animals, a snake, a fucking spider, if you have a fancy for those arachnid motherfuckers. But it's like, it's like, yeah, there's so many things that we can learn, and it's definitely good to know. So Oakharts, good thing you learned, man. Learning lesson. Glad you're gonna get through it though. Celtic said you made waves with the idea. Yeah, I did, dude. People were freaking out. It was like definitely a clickbait title for sure. You know, I had it to where it just said Richard Hart passes away, or breaking Richard Hart passes away, and then at the end it's like, what if this happens, right? And so no one even saw it, and they're like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then you read the whole article, and then you read the whole title, and you're like, oh, you son of a bitch. But that's just how it was. I was in biology course at 12 when I learned I was in biology courses at 12 when I learned that on dilated metals in front of me and all the crew. Physics course. Got it. Well, folks, that's going to be wrapping up my stream today. I had a phenomenal time. To anyone who's tuning in right now, thank you again, as always. To everyone who did stick around through the whole stream chat. We got Celtics, we got Oakharts. Let me just kind of read through some of the chats that we had coming through. We had Tin Top come through. We had Crypto Honesty. Love the name because it's hard to trust. We got Hexactly. Who else we got in the chat today, man? I had an absolutely blast with every single one of y'all. Exactly, still in the crew. Hex Huddles. Love seeing everyone here. You know, myself, obviously. But, folks, this is Agenda 69 was in here earlier. Not sure if you stuck around, but either way, I mean, it's a phenomenal time just being here, having fun with us, with each other, making it through this, because it's definitely a tough time. Don't get me wrong by any means, but knowing that this too shall pass is just another benefit to us all. So I want to thank you all again. My name is ATX Crypto. I do a daily stream here at noon Central Standard Time. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to check out my channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.